Oh, hi guys. How's it going? I'm back. And today I want to talk about my favorite army that I play, and that's the Thousand Suns. And I kind of want people in their bikes. Ugh. And I kind of want to talk about the faith of where the Codex stands with me and with the new chapter proof coming out, and my favorite Primarch, Magnus the Dead. I mean, the Red. So stick around and stay tuned. What's going on, everybody? It's the Black Rage here with another exclusive video. And I had to come back at night to kind of record this because we get some motorcycles that pass through here kind of a bit. So anyways, let's go ahead and dive on into today's topic and the faith of Thousand Suns and where they are as a codex. I'm a little disappointed, but not really. I've gotten about maybe 8 or 9 games in so far, but I think in ninth edition they're gonna start kind of falling down as I feel like it's becoming a play or pay to play situation right now with GW, and it's a cash grab. So right now, let me just tell you what I play. So before, I did a video in the past on Cult of Duplicity because that's the main cult that I run, and I'm actually going to switch up to Cult of Time because I want to try out the Cult of Time. And believe it or not, I'm keeping Magnus in my list. I've made some changes. I know Magnus is not the greatest model to take in competitive play, but I try to try new things out and whatnot. I'll go over that in a little bit towards the end. So there was a FAQ that came out today, and they had an FAQ before where it said that they was it Sorceress, the Warlord trait for Duplicity. I can't never think of these names, and I apologize, but you guys know what I'm talking about. The Warlord trait that allows you to redeploy D3 plus the Warlord. They basically stated that before in the FAQ that you were allowed to put basically when you did the redeploy, you were allowed to put units back into Deep Strike or put them into Deep Strike, or if you had see these motorcycles, I'm telling you, if you had or a stratagem or whatever that you allowed that allows you to basically redeploy a unit back into Deep Strike. So GW came out with an FAQ today and stated that you basically can't do that anymore. Not sure why, but it is what it is. And guys, I do apologize. I have lots of cars rolling through this neighborhood. It's insane. So I'm a little appalled by that, but what can we say? So I feel like Duplicity anyways is it's kind of a one-hit wonder because you have like one unit teleporting around a table and stuff, and Time is more of a durability, and it's more of a just holding objectives and stuff like that, I think. So they're a little bit more survivable than Duplicity because you can get 2 guys back, if you play your cards right and stuff. So and so I want to talk about 2 of my good units, then the Thousand Suns, the Rubric Marines and the Terminators. That's your core choice anyways. I mean, there's Zangors, but whatever. I mean, Zangors, the Goatmen, but my only concern right now with Rubric Marines, there's a lot of damage too. And I'm a little, I don't know, with all the Eldari stuff that's coming out and all the newer stuff that's coming, it's a lot of damage too. So it kind of makes all its dust a little null and void. And, there's also a lot of damage 3, which also kind of hurts and hinders our Terminators. So with Tau, it's just a lot of overwhelming stuff that's coming out that it's going to hurt us a lot. So it's just trying to figure out how to play the army around certain other armies and stuff like that. We have to rely on our powers and our spells and stuff to kind of save us. But even then, excuse me, I think in ninth edition, it's still kind of if you don't go first, the game can go in a big, direction. It's like, all right, well, if I don't go first, I can lose the game. So I got to kind of deploy as if I'm going to go second, but then if I deploy too defensively, I can also lose the game because, these units need to be in the middle of the table, but they're hiding in the back all game because, you got, let's say, for instance, Tau. You're fighting against a 3 Riptide list and you have a Storm Surge or something like that, and they're just like, okay, well, go ahead, Katao, Katao, and that's your dead unit now with damage 4 Riptides with ion accelerators. So yeah, it's gonna be a little rough for us, but we got to try to see what we can do with the best that we can do and what we have, which we don't have much of like other armies do. So yeah, it just sucks, and I know people who do play Thousand Suns, it's like we try to keep the faith, but I really do feel like our Codex got a little underwhelming because it's like they didn't really give us enough. Like, for instance, we didn't get transhuman. We got something that's -1 damage when shooting, but if you have more than 5 models in the unit, it costs 3 stratagem. It costs 3 command points to use. So it's almost like, why didn't we get transhuman? All this dust is kind of null. There's a lot of damage to saturation right now, so it's just, I don't know. So it's a little bummer, but Wrath of the Unwrong +1 to wound for us, it's good and stuff, but again, there's a lot of armies out there that are just, they got all these extra good stuff, and we got, we can do spells and stuff, but there's a lot of armies that can block this stuff on great saves. And that's the next thing I want to talk about is moving down to the matchups. So I think our biggest matchup, our biggest counter, I should say, is going to be the Adeptus Custodes. I've fought that matchup already 3 times, and it's a hard match. It really is. It's one of our biggest counters, and they just block everything, especially if they're taking the shield hosts that basically you can block mortal wounds on 4s. That already kind of makes our smites, they get 4-up saves against our smites. And then they're already toughness 5, so our bolters are wounding them on 5s. They have a 2+ armor save and a 4+ invulnerable. They're just durable. They can subtract 1 from your strength of your gun for bikes. Bolters go to strength 3. If you don't have an Infernal Master to bump them up to strength 5, it bumps down to strength 4. It's like, okay, now you're wounding bikes on 6s, and they have a shield captain who has 9 wounds, and basically give him a relic or whatever it is that he gets, or excuse me, I don't know if it's a relic or whatever, but he can ignore invulnerable saves on shooting and close combat. So imagine your little lonely sorcerer standing right there, and the shield captain flies over and says, hi, I have this lance here. I get +1 to wound against you, and I ignore invulnerables. Wait, I'm going to shoot you in the face with a rocket, potentially. Oh, wait. There's Ariman over there. Ariman, whatever his name is. He's over there. I'm going to shoot him with a rocket if there's nothing screening him. And then I'm going to charge your exotic sorcerer here and kill him, because you get no saves. And that rocket salvo launcher is D3 +3 damage. So it's a hard match. I think moving down, we have Black Templar. Black Templar's really good against us as well, because considering that, they have a vow where they get, the whole army basically gets a 5+ invulnerable, and they can get, I call it mini transhuman. So you're always wounding them on 3s regardless. So even if you bump up to strength 5, they're T4 to wound on 3, and then you pop Wrath of the Wrong to wound on a 2. You can't, because you can't wound them better than a 3, and they still have transhuman stratagem. So, and they block our powers on 5, or I'm sorry, they block mortal wounds on 5s. And then there's a relic or something that allows you to not target that unit in general. So that's another counter to us. Excuse me. And then we have the sisters, sororitas. You know, they can auto deny you on a 6, regardless of your, you know, the whole army gets denies. And Abhor the Witch is still a good power to take against Thousand Suns. I mean, you can max that out almost, you know. And Tyranids, believe it or not, you know. I just seen something today online where Tyranids are greeting some nasty weapons. The Exocrin's going to damage 4. I'm sorry, damage 3. But it's going to have, I mean, that's going to insta-kill our Terminators. Their Venom Cannons are going to damage 4, insta-kill Terminators. A lot of their weapons are going to damage 2. I mean, if we get into assault with these guys, we're done. That's it. And I feel like the Thousand Suns already don't have any kind of defense in hand-to-hand. I mean, the Scarab Occult Terminators, they're strength 5. They're minus 3 AP and damage 2, but there's also a lot of reduced damage out there too. I mean, Stonecrusher Stampede, minus 1 damage to the whole army. Death Guard, minus 1 damage to the whole army. I mean, Eldar for right now, I think it's the Uthway Strike Force, if I'm not mistaken. They're also minus 1 damage, whatever. So it's like, it kind of sucks that a lot of our weapons are damage 1. And or whatever little damage 2 we do have, it goes to damage 1. So, and I'm a little appalled because looking at the Eldari, the the Star Reavers or whatever for the Harlequins, they got damage 2. So it would have been nice if our Soul Reaper cannons could have gotten damage 2, but we'll Taco Bell, by the way. Blast, amazing. So, yeah, I'm just a little upset, you know, and try not to rant too hard about this, but getting into this army, I love it and stuff, but I just feel like, again, competitive play, it's fallen off. It's people can argue and say, oh, they're still good, you got to know how to play them, position them, but it's like, what's the point, you know? I mean, we can play them for fun and stuff, but I just feel like in the competitive scene, again, that's just my opinion, it's really hard right now to play this army against all the new upcoming stuff that's coming out. It just seems like we got the and everything else just kind of went uphill. It's like GW just said, yeah, Thousand Suns, let's get him a little something, and then now we'll keep this whole cash grab thing going for the other armies. So my pros and cons, just have a few. Magnus the Red. GW had one job, and that's to make Magnus good. I feel like right now he's okay, but he's not like Mortarion, and he's not that good. Seeing the new stat lines on the Hive Tyrant today, I'm just like, oh, are you serious? Toughness 8 plus 2 armor save on a Tyrant. I mean, it makes sense. Their Tyranids are supposed to be tough, to care, pace, armor, yada yada yada, whatever. Okay, I get it. But toughness 8 on a Tyrant, I mean, you put a Tyrant next to Magnus. I know Magnus did nothing wrong, whatever, but put a Tyrant next to Magnus. I mean, you put a freaking Tyrant next to Magnus, and this guy's huge, right? But toughness 8 on a Tyrant, I mean, I'm complaining because it's like, why? And it's, you know, the Stonecrusher Stampede is just, that army's insane right now, and I'm just a little appalled. I really wish that Magnus was better. I mean, cutting his movement down, you know, he couldn't double move anymore, which I get. I see they're kind of going away from double moving. And also the 3+ invulnerable save. So he lost a lot of defense there. I mean, offensively, he was double moving the charge, and then defensively, the 3+ invulnerable save going away. So I wish they would have gave him like a D3 subtract to like damage or something, and or against smites mortal wounds, maybe give him a 5 up against mortals, because he's trying to resist. You know, he's supposed to be one of the strongest people in the galaxy that cast powers, whatever the lore, you know, all that, but apparently he's not. So, yeah, I mean, I guess the way to go for me is going to be Cult of Time. I'm going to take Magnus, a Demon Prince, and I'm going to run them together. And then I'm going to take some Rubrics, Unit Terminator, and I'm adding some Forge Fiends to my list because I think backfill firepower is not bad. And having damage 3 plasma is not bad either. So those custody bikes, you know, you start filling some of those 4 up invulnerables, you start dying, or anything that aggressors or eradicators and stuff like that, you outshoot. So Magnus still kind of takes the heat off of the midfield. So I still don't think he's bad to take. I mean, for 450 points, it's just you got to roll good for him and hope he can survive. If he can survive past turn 3, I feel like he kind of did his job, but you also got to keep into account that the midfield is going to be the new center point of the game now, because the objectives are going to, most of the objectives are going to be taking place in the midfield with the chapter approved and stuff. And maybe down the line, I could do another video on a mission or a game. I've played I've played one game with the new chapter approved, and yeah, I just got destroyed. Magnus played against Custodes. You know, he died turn 2, he survived, and I got 7 or 8 salvo launchers put into him turn 1 and dropped him down to 1 wound. He survived to turn 2 with 1 wound. And how he dies is a damn, I blew up one of those Custodian dreadnoughts, and of course, it exploded on the 6. And then he dies, because why not? Anyway, guys, that's going to be my wrap up. I would love to get back on here and talk some more. If you guys want, I can get into that Cult of Time list and break it down a little bit more, a little bit better. Maybe I can draw out some things and stuff, and maybe you know, I know there's some other higher tier players out there and whatnot, but you know, you got to start out slow, start out low, and who knows, you know, I might be the next best. I don't know. Anyway, guys, if you like what you see, please hit the like and subscribe button. I know I should have said it in the beginning, but I'm going to say it right now. So look out for another video, and everyone be safe. And as always, have a good night.